Let's make leche flan. Leche flan is a popular Filipino dessert. It's a custard with a sweet layer of caramel at the bottom, and it's often served at Filipino parties. Here are the ingredients we'll need. In a small pot, let's start by combining 1 cup of sugar and 3/4 cup of water. Then let's bring it up to a boil. Once it has come up to a boil, it's important that we do not stir it. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit and let it simmer until it starts to turn brown. If you stir it, it might crystallize, which happens to me a lot, and then you'll have to start over again. In our baking pan, I'm just going to lightly spray it with some oil. And now this is what our caramel sauce looks like. So this is the layer that's going to be at the bottom of the leche flan. Let's go ahead and put it in our baking pan. After about 10 minutes, the caramel will harden. You can certainly let it boil a little bit longer if you like a darker caramel layer, but the light brown is fine for me. Now we'll need 10 egg yolks, so let's separate some eggs. Now in a bigger bowl, let's combine 1 can of evaporated milk and 1 can of condensed milk, the 10 egg yolks, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then let's mix it all together. The mixture should be nice and smooth once everything has been mixed together. Let's go ahead and add our milk mixture. Ideally, if you want a picture-perfect leche flan, you would strain out these egg pieces so that the custard will be really smooth. But I don't mind, so I usually just keep it in there. Next, we're going to cover it with some tin foil. Now in my oven, I already have an empty pan. Now I'm going to put my leche flan pan inside of it. And then I'm going to add some boiling water that goes up to the side of the leche flan pan. Whoops, be very careful when you do this. The water around the pan will serve as a steamer. We'll let it sit in the oven at 370 degrees for 45 minutes. Okay, after 45 minutes, I went ahead and took out the leche flan from the oven, and now I'm going to put it in the fridge for at least 8 hours, or overnight is better, so that the custard can set. Okay, so it is the very next day. I pulled out my leche flan that has been sitting in the fridge overnight. Let's see what it looks like. And it's okay if it looks like that. That's just from where the leche flan was touching the tin foil. We will flip it over anyway, so this is technically going to be the bottom. Now, in order to take it out, I just take a knife and run it around the sides of the pan. Then I take another plate, the serving plate, put it on top, and then we're gonna flip it. Then I like to give it a few taps to make it all come down. Okay, here we go, moment of truth. Oh, perfect, look at that. The syrup is all around the leche flan. Remember, that is from the caramel that we made at the beginning, and the custard flan has solidified nicely. Let's try our leche flan. The flan is so smooth and creamy, and it's just subtly sweet from the caramel layer we put on top. Here are some fun facts about leche flan. Originally, leche flan was a Spanish dessert, and in Spanish, leche means milk and flan means custard. The difference between Filipino leche flan and Spanish leche flan is that Filipino flan has more egg yolks. That's because back in the day when Spanish colonizers were building churches throughout the Philippines, they used egg whites in the concrete. So, the leftover egg yolks were then used by the rest of the community in dishes like leche flan. Then, when the US occupied the Philippines, they introduced canned goods, like evaporated and condensed milk, both of which are essential ingredients in leche flan. Typically, leche flan is made in oval baking dishes called llanera. And leche flan is often served as a topping for other desserts like halo-halo. It's so good. Make sure to give the flan enough time to sit in the refrigerator so that it solidifies. There were times when I pulled out my leche flan too early because I was too excited and it wasn't solidified. The perfect leche flan should be smooth and creamy and soft enough to melt on your tongue. I hope you get a chance to try this leche flan recipe. Anytime I make it for one of my parties, I get lots of compliments. So have you had leche flan before? If you have, tell me in the comments. Paalam!